he defeats Magnum via unanimous decision. Two judges had it 115, 113, and then I think one judge had it 116, 112, which means one judge had it 8-4 in favor of Terrence Crawford, and another judge had it in favor of Terrence Crawford 7 rounds to 5. I had Terrence Crawford winning the fight. I had Terrence Crawford winning the fight. Probably, I had it. I had it probably 8-4 Terrence Crawford, or possibly 7-4-1 even for Terrence Crawford. But at the end of the day, I didn't expect Terrence Crawford to get that dude out of there. You got to understand, when you start off at lightweight and go up that many divisions, at the end of the day, you're going to fight bigger dudes. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to get those dudes up out of there. But at the end of the day, he did a lot of damage to that guy. But it was a great fight at the end of the day. Terrence Crawford continues to make history. Now, the detractors are going to make something out of nothing. Y'all already know what's going to happen. In no way, shape, or form did Mad the Mob win that fight. Wasn't even close. But I had Bud winning the fight. It was a good fight though. He came near to win. He did land some nice shots. He landed some nice counter shots and some nice leads off Terrence Crawford that bothered Terrence Crawford a little bit. But at the end of the day, we did get to see how Terrence Crawford's punch resisted. So Terrence Crawford took some big shots. So his punch resistance at 154 is decent. So what's the next move for Terrence Crawford? Terrence Crawford showed me that he has enough power to where he could break somebody down and still get somebody out of there. But the streak ended. Not a big deal. Canelo hasn't had a knockout in quite a while. So no big deal, no harm, no foul. He got the job done. That's it. That's all. He got the job done. So he won the fight. So now he moves on as he continued to make history. As far as the Canelo fight go, I'll talk about that later on, but I want to talk about what Terrence Crawford did. He was the headliner. He sold out, BMO Stadium. A lot of celebrities came to see him. Kate Beckinsale, Regina Hall. There was a lot of celebrities there. Anthony Anderson, Deshaun Jackson, Piers Morgan. So it was a lot of celebrities there. It was star-studded, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight. At the end of the day, you're not going to get everybody out of there. It is what it is. It happens. Yeah, Bud had a little bit of trouble with him, his movement, that herky-jerky style, because Bud hadn't fought a dude really like that. So when you got two dudes that move a little bit and kind of don't stand still, so it's kind of hard to figure out. But Bud started to say, okay, now I know what to do, because Bud pretty much secured the fight, easily winning the last 2 rounds. But he took some shots. He took some shots. He got hit. It's boxing. You get touched up. Y'all have to understand the key element of boxing. It's not about how much offense you initiate. It's not about how much you hit somebody and how good you look hitting them. What makes you a legend in boxing, what makes you a good boxer, is how you react when you get hit back. And we seen what happened to Jared Anderson when he got hit back. I mean, he folded like a lawn chair. So that's what makes you a great boxer. It's not always about, like I said, it's not always about how good you look hitting people. It's about what happens when you get hit back. Like Mike Tyson say, everybody got a plan till they get hit back. Bud took dude shots very well. I never saw any moment of the fight where I thought Bud was seriously hurt or anything. You get hit. The thing is, the problem is we define how good somebody's defense is based off watching guys like Floyd Mayweather and stuff, based off the fact that Floyd Mayweather is what you would call a defensive guru. The same thing with Shakur Stevenson. And I think that's not fair to other boxers. That was how Floyd fought. defense first, offense later. And it worked for Floyd. So Terrence Crawford, as far as his defense go, there was some shots that dude threw that he was trying to end that fight. And Terrence Crawford was able to slip those punches and block them. So to me, I thought Terrence Crawford did a good job. Well, what do you mean he won't have no power? Did you see what he did to that dude's face? You act like the dude was just walking through. You act like the dude was just walking through Bud's punches. See, this is where you get the misconception about boxing. You act like the dude every time he got hit, he came forward, because when Bud was landing them shots, he was clinching Bud and he was backing up. So that means Bud has power. So don't sit up there and say, oh, well, he doesn't have any power at 154 because he didn't get the stoppage. Because if that's the case, Canelo ain't got much power at 168. So that's not a good assessment. I'm not trying to put you on blast, but at the same time, I just got to say you kind of like, you're not accurate. See how you have stupid people that come on here and just, you know what I'm saying? You can't even have a productive conversation. And there's always some dude that come on here saying stupid stuff. Listen, dude, if you trying to come out the closet, go to some other outlet and do that. This ain't the outlet for you, dude. Don't come on here with that stupid stuff, bro. Well, wait a minute. Didn't he get knocked? Wait a minute. What do you mean he got beat down and put, like, dude, he got folded. What are you talking about? He got folded. And if the referee wouldn't have came in and called a stop to the fight, he was probably gonna get slapped. His eyes was rolling in the back of his head. He was badly hurt. He should have just stayed down and got counted out, because he was about to get slapped. Dude, saying the guy folded him with punches. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? He folded. Did you not see him get knocked down like 3 times? There's different definitions of folding. When somebody lay you out. Oh my God, you one of them. One of them need to be right. You want to come here and debate just to be debating. But we're not finna do that. Not finna do that today. So, who do I want to see Bud fight? I mean, if he, listen, I think Bud, Canelo, that's asking too much of him. I know Team Crawford gonna be mad at me. I know Bernie gonna be mad at me, but I think Canelo is just too big. You talking about him going up? I think Bud reached his peak. I think he could become undisputed at 154. I think he could beat pretty much anybody at 154. Now the question is going up to 168, going up, basically 14 more pounds to fight Canelo. And we all know Canelo is not going to fight Bud at a catch weight. So, that's just asking a lot. And I've already said this, and I've been on record saying that I don't like that fight for Bud. I just think Canelo is just too big. And what does Canelo get out of fighting Terrence Crawford? Because he's supposed to win. And I listened to Sean Porter's assessment when he was saying, well, if somebody called you out, you supposed, come on, man, stop it. So if anyway say he want to fight, so if the monster anyway say that he want to fight David Benavidez is supposed to go fight him. So, and by the way, that suit Sean had on, I'm sorry, Kenny. I'm sorry, Kenny. I know you be listening, but you need to get Sean a better tailor because that suit he had on, that purple slash, dressed in the dark Prince outlook, that Prince look, not working. Yeah, that could play into the equation too, because Bud, that's another thing. Bud got to stop fighting once a year. Bud need to fight within the next 4 months. He need to get back in the ring within the next 4 months, because at the end of the day, that once a year stuff is starting to take toll on Bud. And at the tender age of 36 going on 30, 37, he need to fight more often. Look what happened to Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, to me, I lost that fight. He hadn't fought in pretty much 2 years, and he was starting to run out of gas after the fifth round. And he was like, he managed to put together enough steam to like try to get it going like in like maybe round, I forgot what round that was in one of the later rounds, but that's the problem. When you fight once a year, you know, Bud should be fighting at least twice a year. And I think he does need to get back in the ring. I mean, there's quite a few people. I mean, he's supposed to technically, to be honest with you, he's supposed to start negotiating with Fundora. If Fundora, but him and Errol Spence is talking about they gonna set a date, but the WBC representatives was there, so you know what that mean. That mean in all likelihood they gonna order Terrence Crawford and Fundora to start negotiations. And then if that doesn't happen, either Fundora have to pay Terrence Crawford step aside money, or Fundora risks the chance of being stripped, because at the end of the day, I think enough is enough with these antics by the PBC. Fundora fought in March. Fundora said that he had a broken nose. It only take maximum 3 weeks to heal from a broken nose. Fundora could have had a fight by now, but this is, like I said, the tactics that those PBC fighters do, and this is why a lot of people get irritated with them, and this is why a lot of these promoters and fighters get irritated with Al Heyman and people affiliated with the PBC, like playing these games where they like to try to like just fuck with you. So that's the problem. No, I know Bud wouldn't take no step aside money, but I'm saying that would be one of the scenarios. And what me myself, Errol Spence hasn't fought in over a year. And to be honest with you, you have to ask yourself, how does Errol Spence get a title shot? And Errol Spence got the hell beat out of him by Terrence Crawford. So how does he jump the line? So you need to ask that question. And this is the games that piss people off that the WBC Mauricio Solobon be playing. He's inconsistent and he's very wishy-washy. Well, I mean, Eddie Hearn is going to always be Eddie Hearn. You have to understand something. Bud isn't a matchroom fighter. He just happened to fight on a card that was promoted. Well, actually, everybody was involved and everybody was involved in that card. Top Rank, I saw, Bob Bierum, I saw a few people there. So, and like I said, Jared Anderson losing, and then the way he lost, that's a big hit. Like I said, that's a big hit for top rank, because they had a lot of high hopes in that dude. And then, I know they got Richard Torres, but then Richard Torres isn't big enough. Richard Torres is barely like maybe 6'2" or something. Maybe Richard Torres at best maybe 6'2", 6'3" and a half. And then the way he's built, he he can't like balloon up to like 250, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If they skip past Terrence Crawford and they do get Fundora versus Spence, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like Spence in that fight. Because to me, Spence don't look at. I just look at Spence's demeanor and just look at how he looked. Spence looked out of fighting shape. He clearly looked out of fighting shape. And my thing is, don't try to bring Spence back because you want to try to milk one last like payday out of him. You know, I just don't like his chances against Fundora. And then there's questions about is Fundora legit? Because you've been hearing things about him like, you know, possibly having altered gloves. Oh, and on the side note, so I guess something is suspicious about Jose Valenzuela, right? Because you know he had snack on his shorts, so I guess he's. Oh, I forgot. Nothing suspicious about him because he's not a black fighter, you know. So he's not going to be accused of that. Oh, and it was cool to see Devin Haney out and about. Hopefully, well, I'm expecting to see Devin probably at the end of the month because Amari Jones will be fighting in Oakland at the Marriott City Center, downtown Oakland off of Broadway, August 31st. If you in the Bay Area, come through. He might be. Well, listen. I don't want to say nothing, Cash G. I already talked to Bill. You know, I already know what the next move is going to be. I know who they're going to be fighting next. I have an idea of where they're going to be fighting next. So, you know, I already know what's going on. Y'all have to understand. I know what's going on before it get announced. So, you know, I'm supposed to be talking to Bill anyway in the next couple of days. So I kind of know what's going on with Devin. I'm gonna say this much. Despite the fact that Ryan Garcia, you know, was cheating and he been cheating, there was something that Devin that I didn't like that Bill told him to do. Devin needed to get under that hook. That's what Tank did. Tank was able to get under that hook and come up top. Because when Devin was getting out of the way of that hook and countering Ryan, he was having success. People keep forgetting Devin was winning that fight until he got dropped. Devin lost the first round, and then he pretty much won every round up until the 7th round. The 3 knockdowns is what won Ryan the fight. That's what a lot of people can't seem to get. First of all, you don't get your ass whooped if you lost the majority of the rounds. And basically the knockdowns got you to win. So he didn't whoop Devin Haney's ass. But, you know, people will put something out. You know, at the end of the day, people live in fairyland. So, you know, they make up stuff. So, I mean, but that's neither here or there. We all know what happened with Ryan Garcia. They took the victory away because he was, you know what I'm saying, because he had that stuff in his system. Yeah, but Devin Devin could have got like when he was throwing it, when Devin got under it, Devin could have countered. He could have countered Ryan. Because when he was getting under it and countering Ryan, he was giving Ryan problems. But I think the problem is with Devin, and I said this before, and I done told this to Bill, sometimes just do what works for you. He could have easily outboxed Ryan and won a decision. You know, at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about trying to knock somebody out. Sometimes the victory is just beating somebody's ass and getting a clear-cut victory. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't even think they should fight again because Ryan Garcia can't be trusted. Ryan Garcia, I would never do business with him because, one, he didn't make weight, and that appears to run in the family. His brother intentionally didn't make weight for his last fight. So it's just like, why would I give them another payday? Why would I trust the fact that Ryan Garcia would come into that fight on an even playing field? If he has a history and been suspicious of doing this stuff, why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? Devin doesn't need Ryan. There's plenty of fights and plenty of money out there for him. He doesn't need Ryan Garcia. Well, he already had gave a hint that he was on something. He could sit up there and talk about he got Scooter at the last minute. He already said that he was willing to do anything to win that fight, and he already said that Devin wasn't going to be the same after that fight because we already know that he was coming off of cycling. So he been, he been on that stuff. He been on that stuff. Duarte said that he believes that he was on that stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. But as far as Terrence Crawford go, I would just try to, if I was him, I would try to fast track getting these fights so he can become undisputed in a fourth division. And at the end of the day, if Bud can become undisputed, in a third weight class, like I say, Bud is already in the history books. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he becomes undisputed at 154, you can make an argument about Bud being in the GOAT conversation. And that's just real talk. That Canelo fight, I just don't think that's a good idea. I just don't think that's a good. They just are so far and in between weight. Like I said before, you talking about him going up 2 more weight classes. I think Bud then reached his peak. I think 154 is his peak. 160 would be kind of stretching it. But man, you're talking about him going up a third. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I saw how Turkey Al-Sheikh was looking too. I think Turkey Al-Sheikh probably gonna talk to Bud and tell him, maybe we need to just, because there are some fights out there for Bud. He could fight Virgil Ortiz. That'll be a good fight. Virgil Ortiz has 100% knockout ratio. So there's some work for Bud. Tim Tszyu is still an option. Fundora, that's an option. So there's some good fights. There's 3, 4, 5 good fights for Bud at 154. Because the real quest is just to become undisputed at 154. And then Bud could walk away into the sunset. I know he say he chasing legacy fights and all that kind of stuff, and that's a good thing. Legacy is also making history. And if you can make history and become a undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes, that's legacy. That's history. That's something that people gonna talk about. You being an undisputed champion in 4 different weight divisions in the 4-belt era, that's remarkable. Well, okay. Let's just keep it a buck. What is Sergio Mora? What's his nationality? What's Sergio Mora's nationality? Yeah, I said it, and yeah, I'm going there. Y'all already know how this works. Y'all already know how it works. What is Chris Mannix's nationality? There you go. So y'all should already know why the broadcast was biased. Y'all already. It isn't as bad as HBO used to be. Larry Merchant and Jim Lamp. I mean, Jim Lampley, to a certain degree, he tried to be objective, but sometimes he would fall under the influence of Larry Merchant. Larry Merchant was just a blatant racist. Yeah, there you have it. Oh, you went to the fight, Tania? You went to the fight. Okay, cool. Well, Sean, listen, it's hard to like call fights when you got two dudes like basically trying to sway the crowd and stuff. I don't listen to announcers. I do not listen to announcers whatsoever. And y'all already know I do not pay attention to announcers because I'm the person. I mean, I'm just watching it. We was like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Oh, okay. Um, like, what is this dude talking about? Because he tried to say that. He tried to say that Pitbull Cruz and Valenzuela was close. That fight wasn't even remotely close. That fight wasn't remotely close. Valenzuela clearly won that fight. He took Pitbull to school. He looked like Joe Clark. He should have came out and said, "You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?" I mean, he took Pitbull to. See, I don't know, man. I don't know what the judge would look at. That fight was easy as hell to score. Man, Valenzuela, I'm talking about. He looked like Edward James almost from Stand and Deliver. The way he took Pitbull to school. He gave him a boxing lesson, man. He gave him a boxing lesson. Now the problem is, unfortunately, Venezuela get the luxury of probably getting knocked into the middle of next week by Tank. But at the end, but then again, you never know. You never know. Maybe he can solve the tank puzzle. Because we all know that Team Davis like cherry picking, and he might be the wrong cherry pick Mexican to pick. Because they said black fighters don't sell according to they got that. Listen, they got that shit from Al Heyman. Al Heyman is the character Samuel L. Jackson played on the Great White Hype, the Sultan, when he was saying niggas is tired of paying good money to see niggas beat up on niggas. I'm starting to really think that character is based off Al Heyman. But we all know Tank versus El Rayo is next. We all know that's next. No, I'm saying I believe that's what I said originally. I say now he get the luxury of getting knocked out by Tank. But then again, who knows? But if the fight happens, which I think that's going to be the next fight, because here's the thing. If you Tank, you like, okay, why do I got to fight Shakur Stevenson when I could push the Shakur Stevenson fight to the back burner? And I could go up to 140, fight him, take his belt. I've already fought at 140. Y'all have to understand, man. I'm telling you. Crawford didn't lose. Crawford didn't lose none of his hype, dude. So stop the cap, dude. Don't come here talking that stupid shit, dude. I will cook your ass. Terrence Crawford gonna be the same popular Terrence Crawford that he is. Because at the end of the day, Canelo didn't look like hot garbage in his last few fights. So don't come here. Don't come here with that bullshit, dude. You for real. Okay, so okay. Mm. Okay, so what about Fondora's gloves? You do know Ray Vargas was allowed to fight with loaded gloves, and so I'm just saying, you sure you want to you sure you want to have that conversation? So I'm we're not talking about we're not gonna have no conversation about no gloves and all that kind of stuff. No, there's no. Oh. Okay. So what about Ryan Garcia getting caught using PDs, and it miraculously ended up in a system, and he told lie after lie how it happened, but y'all dismissed that, right? Well, if Bud got defective gloves, he need to take that up with the manufacturer. That's not a Bud problem. That's a manufacturing problem. Oh man, we not fit to do this today. Do 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 do. Yeah, we're not doing that. Hey, we're not doing that today. So we're talking about the victory. We ain't talking about no loaded gloves, no busted gloves. We not talking about none of that stuff. We not talking about none of that junk. It's always one. It's always one. And I can tell you that this dude is Hispanic. It's always them. They always. This is why you can't have a productive conversation with them without them like saying something stupid. You can't have a productive. You can't have what I'm saying a conversation without them saying something stupid because they always panic. And Bud's popularity is about to get even higher because one, he won the fight. I mean, don't these guys got something better to do than troll people's channel? I mean, come on, man. Nobody don't want to hear that stuff, man. Get out of here with that stuff, man. Like for real, bro. We just assessing the fight. We just talking about what's Bud's future. But these the same people that ignored that Canelo got caught cheating. With his super steak tacos, with his mystery meat. And at least 5 fighters connected to his trainer have one time or another tested positive for a banned substance, but they ignore that. Y'all don't want to fuck with me on that conversation. Yeah, Bud's body shots was doing some damage. The thing is about body punching, it's not what you. I don't know what the problem is because when I be boxing, if y'all see me hitting the bag, I always demonstrate body punching. Even when I'm shadow boxing or just doing some light sparring, I always try to go to the body and look for an angle where I can land. It's not always the glamorous, way to end the fight or get a stoppage, but it does damage. Hitting somebody to the ribs and you can temporarily take the wind out of them. Liver shots do damage. But a lot of fighters sometimes don't like to constantly go to the body because it's not the glamorous way to win a fight. A lot of dudes like knocking somebody out, landed a flush shot to the jaw. But I think Terrence Crawford fought very well in the fight. Now, we're not going to go do that ridiculous scenario. Well, if it had been a 15-round fight, Terrence Crawford would have got him up out of there because we all know they don't do 15-round fights. They haven't had a 15-round fight, I think, since 1988, 89. But, for entertainment purposes, if we was to do that scenario, but we all know that there's no such thing anymore as 15-round fight. But I did like the idea what Lou DiBella said when he said that they should add another round to championship fights. They should go 13 rounds. But these boxers now, they not disciplined like how the fighters was back in the day. I think I think Bud, what he was trying to do, I think Bud wanted to put on the show. I think he thought Magnum Magnamob would move wouldn't move as much as he did. So when you got two dudes that's moving and they're not stationary, you know, there's gonna be times where you have to extend, and then you're gonna have to. It becomes a chess match. So dude wasn't stationary, and then Bud wasn't stationary. Now, if Bud fought somebody like Virgil Ortiz, yeah, that would be a more interesting fight, and that would be a more entertaining fight, because we all know that Virgil Ortiz is gonna come in there bobbing and weaving like Sugar Ray Leonard. Um, Virgil Ortiz is gonna come in there and try to take your head off. So that's what they mean by styles make fights. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I had to do research on that dude because I had never seen that dude fight. I had never saw that dude fight until tonight. And then and to be honest with you, the dude that Jared Anderson got the hell beat out of by, I hadn't seen him fight. But people was talking about this dude, saying that he could pose a problem. But then when I seen how dude was hitting that bag, I was like, this may be interesting. And then when I seen how Jared Anderson went down in that first round, I said he might be in trouble. Jared Anderson was visibly shaken, but I give him credit. He tried to fight. He did try to fight. But the question is, was he trying to fight to keep the dude off of him? Because there's a difference between fighting not to lose and then fighting to win. And Jared Anderson got hurt really bad in that fight. That second to final knockdown before basically the referee called a halt to the fight, his eyes was rolling, was real glazy, rolling in the back of his head, kind of like he was kind of out on his feet. And if he had got hit one more time, he damn near went through the ring. Dude damn near went through the ring. Listen, when somebody hits you so hard and you damn near fall through the ring, yeah, you hurt. But Jared Anderson, it was a question about, listen, I saw this in Jared Anderson. I interviewed him a couple of times. I seen him do interview. He just never sounded like a dude that was in boxing for the long haul. And he just never seemed like he was one of them dudes. You never heard him say, yeah, man, I want to be a legend. I want to be one of the greatest that ever did it. You would always hear him kind of like talking about how, he didn't want to, make boxing his life and all this kind of stuff. I hope he got paid well. But like I said, it still shows you the ring IQ of Bud, because he started like Bud made sure he secured those last. Bud made sure he secured those last two rounds. At the end of the day, like I said, he got a decision. Every fight ain't gonna end in knockouts. Unless you Arthur Better Be or Virgil Ortiz. So far, so good. But I think Bud, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even think Bud was able to see see enough footage of that dude. I think Bud winning that fight. I think Bud winning that fight blind. Like basically, like I'll figure it out as we go along. Because it was kind of hard to find footage of that dude. Dude, I'm not worried about these dudes. We hear this shit all the time. They already told you by tomorrow. Some people gonna even say that Bud lost the fight. That some gonna say. Let me tell you what they gonna say. Some people gonna make videos saying they thought Bud lost the fight. Some people gonna make videos saying they thought Bud got exposed. Some people gonna make videos saying that Bud can't beat Jerome Booth. And I've been doing this for a while. I already know what's gonna get put out there, you guys. I already know what's going. I've been doing this for a long time. I already know what type of material gonna get put out in the morning. They're gonna say if Errol Spence was fighting that dude, Errol Spence would have. Please, please. Well, we'll see what's up. We'll see what's next for that dude. Here's the thing about Bud. If Bud fights somebody like Charlo or Castanos, Virgil Ortiz, it'll be easy for him to get. I think he just didn't. Myself, my own personal assessment, I think Bud was winging it. I don't think he did no research on that dude. I don't think he was able to find proper footage of that dude. Where guys like Virgil Ortiz is easy. You know, Virgil Ortiz is a Mexican American fighter, so it's easy to find footage. You can find sparring partners and all those type of dudes. So Boots, guys like that, it'll be easier to do research and watch footage of those guys. I just don't think I just think he was winging it. But he did good enough to get the W. Well, you know, at the end of the day, we already know what's up with that. I think Sergio Mora, I think he was a little off of his assessment of the fight. I clearly thought Bud had won the fight, and I knew without a shadow of a doubt Bud was the winner of that fight. I didn't even think it was up for debate. So what do I think is next for Terrence Crawford? Well, if he can't, this is my thing. If I'm Terrence Crawford, if I can't immediately get Fundora in the ring, I'm fighting again. I'm fighting again. It's August. Bud could get another fight in by December. Now they ordered them to start negotiations by Monday, which is the 5th. If they don't start negotiations, they are threatening to strip Fundora. But Fundora is sitting up saying, well, him and Errol Spence got a date. I don't believe it. Errol Spence do not look like he in fight shape, and he don't look like he ready to fight. Errol Spence, to me, got a foot and a half into retirement. So there you have it. Well, anyway, you guys, let me charge up my phone. We'll be back with more.